Aloha, matey. How goes it?
Hello, boyo. Did you part your hair down the middle?
I didn't mean for that to happen. It just like happened. So, I took
Okay.
a shower today. It just, eventually.
It looks nice that way. I was just wasn't expecting that. Maybe fix it up there.
Yeah. Looks kind of decent. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
Yeah. Looks like I'm wearing
Uh,
a Donald Trump wig, bruh.
I guess so. Let me crack open my high noon here.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
Drinking it in a branded San Jose Sharks
Koozie?
cooler koozie. Yeah, koozie. That's what you
Ooh.
call it.
I mean,
Um,
well, is it made of felt? Does it just like give you a better grip on the can?
no, it's plastic on the outside.
Okay, so
But
then
it's
it's an
like
actual
insulated.
cooler.
Yeah, it's like a insulated metal on the inside.
Yeah.
Keeps the can cold, and I bought it along with a shirt I got because my friend Rebel works at the SAP Center, which is where the Sharks play. For those who don't know, and by the way, they just won a game against the
Heck
Detroit Red Wings tonight, so that's a dub.
yes.
Um, and so he works there, and so like he wants to get us like games and stuff and get us to go. And so I wanted to buy some merch because I don't have any merch, and I've been really getting into sports recently. So I've got merch from all the major Bay Area teams. I just got a Warrior shirt in the mail. I've got a Giants hat that I bought not at the stadium, but I bought it from one of the stands outside the stadium from one of the people who was selling them for cheap. And I was like, yeah, that works because like I had one before, but I was an idiot. I left it in the back of my car under the windshield, the back windshield,
Ah.
and it just roasted in the sun. It lost its color, one, and then two, the strap, the adjustable strap part broke. So I had to get a new one. And it broke on the way up to my last Giants game. So that's when I bought the hat. And then
Yeah, never leave anything in direct sunlight, man. Like that's just rule number one.
I learned I might have to move my sun hat as well because that's also in the back. But anyway,
Well, as the name implies, it should be fine for the sun, but on the other hand, if it's cooking in your car, that's not a good thing. Period.
I'll move it to my trunk later.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, excuse me if my beard's a little messed up. I don't know if you guys can tell. So we have to wear masks at work because it's a sidetrack, but it leaves an imprint. And I'm not shaving my beard until after Christmas because I want to look like great old Saint Nick. But anyway, so I just bought a Niners hat recently for the 49ers, and
Nice.
so I got all the major sports teams, at least one piece of merch, so I can, I'm trying to get into sports recently. I was watching after figuring out finally where I could stream the Sharks game. I just missed the end of it. I missed the recap, but I checked the score and they won. But I was watching another game. I was watching the two hockey teams. It was the Philadelphia Flyers and the Arizona Coyotes.
Hey,
It's the
Philadelphia
Coyotes that
Flyers! Shout out
this.
to
Yeah.
Gritty. Shout out to Gritty.
Shout out to Gritty. But the Arizona Coyotes have like a sick logo, dude. I love their logo.
Hmm.
Anyway, um, what are you eating?
I'm eating noodles. I literally cooked dinner super late because I got sidetracked like a motherfucker.
Oh, that's real. Is it ramen?
Mm-hmm.
What flavor?
Plain, but I had some like spice packs that I threw in there. I basically, so this is how fucking weird narcissistic I am.
Okay.
Basically, I buy like off-brand like instant noodles with like the spice packs and everything because I can't do top ramen because it has milk in it. So I get other brands that are
Oh. Oh, I guess yeah. The
cheap.
noodle has milk, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does, yeah. Every single like pack and flavor of ramen noodles has milk in it. So
Did not know that. That's new information.
new shit has come to light, man.
Yeah. So.
So I always buy the off-brand stuff. It's a little bit pricier, but it's still like pretty cheap. Like some of the stuff that I get is like $1 a pack, which is nice. But
mm,
what I do is I usually like cook 2 packs of noodles, but I only use one of the spice packs per pack.
No, for sure, because you don't want the sodium. Like it's just too much.
Exactly. So I save the other spice packs because I'm like I fucking paid for them. I might as well fucking use them. So and then I collect them, and then I use plain noodles that I get like either lo mein or like Japanese udon noodles, and I just mix the spice packs that I saved with them accordingly, proportionate wise.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So. Oh yeah. So you just buy like a generic brand of noodle pack at the market, then you
exactly.
cook it up
Preferably,
necessarily.
preferably a cheap one because it doesn't matter to me. The flavor is all that matters because the spice pack.
Well, yeah, I mean
Hmm.
noodles. Home noodles are meant to be cheap. At least
Hmm.
the stuff you buy on the shelf. Ramen buying out, that's pricey. But that's because it's actually done well.
Hmm.
And fanciful.
And
Um,
probably made in house too, so that's another thing.
yeah, yeah, that's probably true.
It's not that
Um,
hard to make. It really isn't.
no, it's not. I mean, and the broth. Um, the broth I would probably say. Well, also the meats are probably the most complicated parts. I've never like cooked full on ramen. I'll like do the top ramen at home, just boiling water and the ramen in the spice pack, and then But when you go out to get ramen, I usually go out to nice restaurants to get it. There's a ramen place near me I want to try that my girlfriend says is pretty good. I need to at some point. Just need to get more money in the bank.
Well, that's the beauty of living in the Bay Area, man. You get access to all this like good ethnic food, but that's the price you pay. Not having money in the bank account.
No, for real.
Yeah.
It's pricey out here, but
Well, hopefully that beer that I got you is lasting you pretty well.
oh, I drank like six of them last weekend, but yeah, yeah, it's good. Yeah. Speaking of the week, so what have I been up to? Since you and I last talked, that was what, Friday we were last recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep. Yes, sirree.
so that what was I doing that Friday night? Oh yeah, went out with the band. We went to a bar, hung out there, and then yeah. So the evening, not I don't want to say it got sidetracked, but it got redirected, and so I didn't expect this, but we got invited to a friend of a friend's place. Rebel was hanging out with some of his buddies and his brother Talon, and we went out to this person's place. It was super cool. It was just kind of a kickback. The minute we arrived, they were like, "We don't have any beer," and we were like, "Okay, let's make a beer run." And so, and by beer we mean we got the White Claw Surge, which I didn't know. The surges are like 8%. Those things are strong.
Yeah, no, that was what got me at first when I saw the advertisements from them. I'm like, holy fuck, that's jacked the fuck up in ABV.
It is crazy. It's like a pretty heavy IPA. At least the equivalent of it. But yeah, so we got some of those. It was midnight. It was past midnight, so I was like, well, it's technically Saturday, so I broke my sobriety and I got myself a Modelo Oro, which is like the low calorie one.
How is that, by the way? I've seen it in stores.
I had one of the tall boys. I'm trying to remember the flavor notes. I quite like it. If you're into light beer and like low calorie beer, go for it.
Was
I
it
would say
like
regular Modelo is
4%?
probably it's like 4. Yeah, I think it's 4% exactly. I know these high noons are like 4.5%, but no, that's 4%. So it was pretty good and it was flavorful. I would say like regular Modelo is like better, but I mean if you want like a low carb thing, go for it. But excuse me.
I mean, if you're
Um,
drinking beer for like low carb, I hate to tell you this, but you would achieve the same thing with like a good like vodka on the rocks or something, you know,
yeah, just like do a
or squeeze
switch
some
to
lime
liquor or
juice over
something.
it too. Like,
Yeah, just do some like liquor or something. But I
yeah,
mean, for those maybe people don't like liquor. It was funny. I was buying. So my friend Nate's birthday is tomorrow, and I'm gonna celebrate with him. And and I was buying him his present is Jaeger. I bought him some Jägermeister, and I was
fuck yeah,
buying. Well, I bought two bottles because like Safeway has a deal where like oh if you're a club member, which I use your club card, thank you. If
mad
you
props.
get like if you get two of them, they're like 16.99 each. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just grab like two, and like I'll give one to Nate himself that he can have on his own, and then I'll have one extra for tomorrow night, whatever we're doing, if we choose to do so. I've also got Red Bulls with it, so we shall see how the party goes. So anyway, so uh, and I was oh yeah, this was the story. So I was buying those, and the guy at the register was like, "Oh, I can't drink these anymore, man. This give me flashbacks." I'm like, "Yeah, I get it."
Mm-hmm.
um, but so yeah, we were kicking back. That was cool. It was fun. Got to meet some of his really nice friends. They were very sweet. It was very nice of them to welcome us into their home, not knowing us at all. But then Saturday and Sunday I chilled. So like Saturday I didn't do much of anything. I think I went for a consult for a tattoo that I'm getting this weekend. Well, I'm getting two tattoos. I'm getting like a peace sign to fill up this space right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm getting like a trippy mushroom guy on my arm here, just for funsies, on my shoulder, and uh, and so that'll be sweet. I'm looking forward to that. And I did that. I visited my girlfriend. Oh, I did my Christmas shopping. I started it. I gotta finish it this tomorrow.
Nice.
No, not tomorrow. Saturday. I gotta finish it Saturday. And then I hung out with my girlfriend. We stayed in and watched. We were watching Barbie. Again, which is a phenomenal movie, and I think it's just. I don't think I have any gripes with it. I think it's perfect.
See, I'm gonna have to see it again because it was a shock to my system at first with the whole like, whoa, hits you in the face with everything wrong in the real world.
Totally.
We're also trying to balance out like the silly craziness and whatnot. So I'll definitely have to watch it again to better appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Ken's story, every time he discovers the patriarchy, it cracks me the fuck up. I think it's the funniest goddamn thing. He spends 5 minutes in the real world and he's like, this rules. And like, it's just hilarious to me. And Ryan Gosling does it so well. He's so funny. He's really good at playing a funny character. Like, he was really good in The Nice Guys. He's really good in Barbie. He's a very versatile actor. I'm very impressed.
I think that's a great thing, though. Like, he doesn't have to play like this strong, like, interesting type.
Stoic type, right? Yeah, or whatever the fuck.
Exactly. I say interesting because the way he stares, it almost seems like he's autistic. So.
Well, yeah, like he's the meme everybody's attached to like being like he's so mean. He's just like having these urges or these like different mannerisms and stuff.
Exactly. But no, he's really shown that he actually has amazing comedic timing and just like slapstick, comedic chops. It's amazing. Like
yeah, he's really funny and I really appreciate that. But and then Sunday Sunday we just ran errands together. We hung out. We caught Oh yeah, we watched that Joel Kinnaman movie, Silent Night. That's what we did. Which was it was entertaining. At least like the last 30 minutes was.
Yeah, the whole premise is that the fact that he's a father on like a revenge mission, and he's silent throughout the entire movie because he sustained a gunshot wound that left him, unable to speak.
You summed up the movie about as well as I could have. Yeah, so like he in the beginning of the movie, he like we cut to him being shot in the neck, and he loses his voice and can't speak. And actually, there was a really at that part there was a really cool scene that I did appreciate. He was like staring at a mirror and he was trying to scream, but he couldn't. He was just doing this raspy like gasp or whatever. Which was like really cool, and like I was like, wow, this might be like the best part, one of the most well acted parts of the movie. But the thing is like it's a movie with like the online reviews say it's like no dialogue, and it's not no dialogue, it's just limited, right? And like
well, yeah, because he grunts, he just and
they say a couple words here and there, like it's very limited. But that's sort of the problem with the movie is like it's driven purely by emotion, and it doesn't do the emotion well enough to really drive the point home and to really make you connect, right? Like they spend a lot of time trying to set up like, oh my god, he lost his son, so like the son dies in like a drive-by shooting, by pure accident. It wasn't like targeted or anything. He was just a casual,
innocent bystander,
collateral, yeah. And so, it's that sucks. Don't get me wrong, that blows, and like, it's a bummer, man. And so,
it's a bummer.
And so he spends, I guess, this whole year trying to get ready for like. He first spends some time trying to get through it, and he doesn't really cope very well. And then he like goes on this revenge quest, and like the training montage is pretty interesting and cool. Again, it's just very limited dialogue, so the story is like there's parts of the story where they're trying to communicate something, but because there's no words being said, I was confused on what was going on. I was like, I don't want to. Well, maybe it doesn't matter to give a spoiler. Maybe we should just put a spoiler warning. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll put a spoiler warning in post. So, yeah, viewers, if you want to step out right now, this is spoilers for Silent Night.
if you give a shit about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's like a part in the movie where like this was just a really you have to extrapolate this information. That was kind of like it's a little more effort than I expected, and it's not bad, right? I think like there is film that can make you think, or that you can like just pick up on things. But it wasn't communicated well. It's like the guy who directed the movie is the same guy who did the stunt choreography for John Wick. It's not like a guy who knows how to direct or anything. At least I think. So like the action pieces were cool, but like here's the thing: is like the emotional build of the story. Like it's trying to communicate. There's this point where like the wife is leaving. She's got like her bags packed and stuff, and like she's upset that he's like not coping well and that they drifted apart or whatever the fuck. I guess that's again what you're supposed to extrapolate, and she just
Yeah.
leaves. Like, is she separating from him? Is she going on like a trip or something while he goes on his like revenge thing? I'm confused. And at the end of the film, it does just straight up tell you like they were separated. I guess like he left like a note, um, and that's like the last shot of the movie is her reading the note at his grave. But so it's like you figure it out later, but then it's like you're just confused at first. You're like, is this what they're supposed to be saying? So that was a detriment to the film. Was just that it was too little dialogue, that it just wasn't communicating anything enough. And then it spent so much time trying to build up the him being sad over his son, and like yeah, you kind of feel bad. You're like, oh, this sucks. But like I wasn't like driven too hard to tears by it.
You're not like immediately emotionally invested, like say John Wick, for example, where like someone kicks a dog to death. Like you're like, fuck, I'm totally on board for this man killing 80
and
people.
and it's like, and in John Wick, they do a really good job of like, hey, it's like the last piece of like his wife, and they fucking killed it. Like that's he's still grieving over his wife. He just got a dog that she left him.
And even in that movie, he doesn't talk that much either. Like he just kind of does like
it's not
single acknowledgments.
It's good. It's good setup. Like,
Yeah.
right. This wasn't good setup. That was like my problem, was I wasn't particularly invested emotionally. But here's the thing that was good about the movie. It was like finally when the action rolls around, oh my god, is it intense.
I imagine.
I was pretty I mean that first fight he does, so like he's training to fight by watching YouTube videos and shit, and like hitting a fucking thing in his garage. And like that shows that he's amateur, right? Like he's not necessarily John Wick, but he's trying to be.
Yeah.
And that's really cool, because then you get these like very realistic action scenes where like he's got this first fight with the guy he's kidnapped, try to get information about the gangsters he's trying to kill, and the guy like fights back and is like, and it's just messy and violent, and like it was really cool, and I was like, whoa, this is like crazy. And then like, and he's like shooting on the bad guys and doing shit. It's super cool. I think it was Kid Cudi who played like a detective, and like for some reason at the end of the movie is another gripe of mine, is like they're boys at the end of the movie, so like the detective is like on the case about like his murdered son, and so he knows who like Joel Kinnaman is, and like he then sees him doing his revenge thing, and like he walks in on him killing the bad guys, and he's just like, yeah, I'm with you, bro, like I get it. And
I don't know what kind of message that sends about like
yeah.
police procedure, but
I mean, cops aren't really the most favorite of the public these days.
True, but at least Bosch handles it with such grace, where it's like, yeah, there's definitely good cops out there, and they have like a tough job, and then there's definitely very bad cops out there, and a whole mob mentality that feeds into that. So
yeah,
they even have like a brief segment in the show Bosch where it's like you got these like younger officers, recruited. Because a lot of the main characters are like old, like they've been on the job for a long time.
Yeah,
and you got these young cops who are like very macho, like masculine types who don't really care for the rules. And I'm like, that is a brilliant way of representing exactly what's wrong with police force today. Because you have all these young hotheads who don't take the job as seriously as some of the ones who've been on the job long enough to know that if you fuck up, things are going to go very bad.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, so the movie was fine. I would say it's a movie you should probably like check out when you're on streaming. It's a good, like, here's how I described it. It's a good B-list boys' night movie. So like if you got your boys over and you want to put something on that's like kind of mindless and you're just like it'd be fun to like talk about like the action scenes as they're happening. You have like conversation over the filler scenes at the beginning. The first hour of the movie is kind of like just like whatever. You could kind of like half pay attention to it. I think the training stuff is kind of cool. Again, the action's like the best part of it. So it's overall, I'd give it probably like a 7, maybe even like
Okay.
a 6.5. It's like I would watch it again, but like I'm not eager to do it, and definitely like I have the free ticket right with AMC, so like I didn't give a shit doing it in theaters, but don't spend like $15 on a movie ticket or however much it costs these days. Um, so that was the movie, and then what else did I do this week? Monday I just chilled. Yeah, chilled and stayed inside. Tuesday, no, Wednesday. Yesterday was fun. So yesterday was really fun. We went out to go see. First, we went out for pizza. There's a great spot around here called Signore's Pizza. We've got several locations. I think one up in the city, not San Francisco for those who aren't from the Bay Area. But that was really good. And then we went to go see a special showing of Monty Python's The Holy Grail, which was like super fun. Monty Python and the
Hey.
Holy Grail, I think. Yeah, that's the title. Which was like really fun, and it was a room filled with like virgins essentially. Bunch of
What?
fucking nerds. Bunch of fucking nerds who were just
Why'd
like
you start
geeking
off with
out.
virgins, bro?
Because they probably are.
Come on, man. There's got to be like a handful of women out there that can appreciate Monty Python. You know what I mean?
I mean, my girlfriend does. She was the one who suggested we go, so like that was sweet.
See, there
So
we go. Not all of them necessarily are virgins, but there's a good probability, but it's not impossible that they're
no,
not.
totally. It was really. I forget how funny that movie is and how witty it is. It's got really good timing and setup, and um, the bridge scene is always the one that cracks me up, where it's like the answer the questions 3 or whatever, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, and he gets to the and it's the bit from the beginning where it's like about the swallows and stuff, and then like at the bridge he's like, what's the flying velocity of like a swallow? And he's like, is it a European swallow or an African swallow? It's like I don't know. And then he gets like flung off the bridge, which is hilarious. Like, that was funny. It cracks me up every time. It
Oh
was oh
god.
man, that movie's so good. It's yeah, that was super fun. I was really glad we did that. I forgot about the Swedish subtitles in the beginning, so I was watching it, and I was like, hmm? And then like it kept going, and I was like, oh, this is a bit okay. And then um, so yeah, that was super cool last night. We put up my Christmas tree last night. Finally did that. I also have a wreath on my door. Getting a little bit into the holiday season here in my tiny apartment.
See, you gotta send me a picture of both, then I could put that in post. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
I'll send you the pics I took last night.
cool, cool.
Um, I'll send you the picture that Kate took of me admiring the tree.
Oh,
Um,
is it beautiful? I imagine it is.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's been the week. What has been in the news as of recent?
I
I really
mean,
could. Well, how's your week been? Let me start with that. I
uh,
thought rough.
my work's been or my week's been pretty good. I've just been working. Had 2 days off after doing a few work days, and then I wasn't really doing much in between that. I just kind of did some like light grocery shopping, and then getting new healthcare and whatnot for next year. So that's fun.
Oh,
But
renewing your healthcare.
yeah. So apparently, I don't
Your
get any
coverage.
like
I mean, yeah.
breaks on like or like tax breaks basically on it this time around. So I had to like switch to a whole different plan. So now I got like Medicare instead of Blue Shield.
Oh, you signed up for Medicare.
Medi-Cal, my bad. Medi-Cal. For some
Oh,
reason, like Medi-Cal and Medicare just sounds so fucking close to each other, even though like one is vastly different than the other.
Well, Medicare is like the federal one that you get when you like are a senior, and then Medi-Cal, like, we actually bill at my job, so I'm familiar with that. It's really good services you get. I mean, I don't know what your premiums are because you're working and stuff, but your income, I can imagine, must be low enough to qualify for some stuff.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if I should put this on the pod, but I'll see if I can edit around this. But basically, I earn roughly like $650 every 2 weeks on my paycheck, so it's like roughly $14,000 a year. So if you make basically under like $20,000 a year, you qualify for Medi-Cal. So
Oh, dude, yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
like, I mean, that's perfect. I mean, I would just put it there. You make 128,000, which cool. It's good that you have medical coverage. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So
damn.
that was fun trying to jump through hoops about that because I was a little stressed about that, but it's fine. Uh,
Well, you don't want to lapse in coverage. I get it. I was stressing about when I had to switch. God, we really are adults. I mean, like I had to sign up for healthcare coverage this year through my job, which I've been told it's not bad, but it's not the worst. I haven't tried it yet. I did I guess I did try it once. I got my flu shot, but like flu shots are virtually free with any health insurance, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, or
But
at
I'm
least they
gonna
should be. For some reason, people got charged sometimes when they got the fucking COVID vaccine. So that's just because.
Well, some of them didn't have that. Well, I think especially at the height of the pandemic, there was a lot of like the health insurances were offering like, yeah, we'll give you like free coverage for like whatever your COVID related needs are.
Yeah.
But I need to see if my dentist can still be covered because I think I'm seeing them next month. I know I'm seeing my optometrist next month, so I definitely need to set all that shit up and maybe even call them like next. I might call them next week and see what's going on and check in with them and see if they take my insurance currently. But because I really like, I've been going to that same optometrist for like I don't know. I signed up with them. I can't remember the last time when I first did, but I go every year. I really like my doctor. She's super smart. She knows what I do. She knows how I keep my health. I've gone to the same dentist since we were like I don't know. When did we first start going to the fucking dentist? Like five, maybe even below. I've been going to the same dentist for like 20 something years. So
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man.
I would hate to like. Well, they're fine. I would hate to like lose them. Like that.
Yeah,
They all know all my shit. They got all my records. They're easy. I know where they're at, so like it's not hard to find. Um,
it's
both the
funny
places
because
I go to are in Mountain View, so it's like two cities above for me. But like I don't really mind.
yeah. No, it's funny how you mentioned that because I don't really care who my dentist is. Like if they got like good reviews and whatnot, and if they have all my information, then that's
hmm
good. I literally cannot care less who it is.
I really liked. We had Blue Shield for a little bit. I remember I had like a PCP through them. I haven't had a PCP in like 4 years, but which is kind of my fault. But I really liked that primary care provider. She was really cool. The nurse assistant was also really funny. I liked going to that center, but
Nice.
um, maybe I could see if they're still in network or something. But anyhow, yeah, I need to sign up with a new PCP as well. I'm gonna do all that in the new year and figure all that out and get like a good checkup. I should also like, yeah, just check if everything's all good.
Nice. Nice.
I'm sure I'm fine. I just haven't seen a healthcare professional in like a while. But you don't really need to, I guess, unless you're like sick. So
Yeah, or if you're old enough to like have like certain debilitating
certain
problems
risks,
that are gonna
maybe.
like
Yeah,
keep you coming back and whatnot. So yeah,
totally. Yeah,
like high cholesterol, bad knees and shit. Yeah.
yeah, totally. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good to just keep up with providers. I think in general. I mean, like I always encourage my clients to do the same thing. I should do that more often.
I mean, yeah, you
Um,
work in the field, so yeah. I
yeah. Well,
don't, so
I work in healthcare in some capacity. I work more with the brain and the mind and emotion, which is healthcare, right? Like it is. We
yeah,
need to take care of
yeah.
our mental. But yeah, it's yeah, healthcare is a wild thing. It's one of the annoying things. I'm always like that's one of the things I see like when I'm working in this field is like people talk about like oh I don't want to lose my medical because like then I'll lose you guys and like it's so annoying in this country that like your insurance dictates who you can see and like I know there's issues with like socialized healthcare like there's issues to accessibility and that sort of thing but like you should be able to just people should just be able to see a consistent provider but some places don't take a certain insurance whatever it may be or sometimes they change and they're like hey I stopped taking this insurance um, it's just like
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like, I've come to understand that like medical insurance, or no, not medical insurance, but like being able to see a medical professional should be a right to some degree. Like, we live in a country where it's like you have the right to an attorney, whether or not you pay for it or not. But a doctor, you're shit out of luck, bro. And I don't know why that is. It's so fucking weird to me.
Yeah, we do have the focus on like you have the right to representation, but you don't have the right to be taken care of. It's like
Yeah, and it also seems like I don't know. I'm trying to find the word for it, but like antithetical to like the doctor's oath of like try to save as many people as possible.
yeah, but there's not money in that. There's no money in keeping people healthy. It just costs money, and that's what the American economy is looking at. It's
True.
I was hearing that like a visit to emergency psychiatric services can cost $14,000 for a single person.
Yeah, so I don't know. Just maybe like be more honest with people. Just treat it more like an actual business than fucking like actually providing care for people. Because that's essentially what it is. That is how people treat it. How it's going to be continue to be treated. So might as well just be fucking honest.
Especially like it's in the states, right? We so overcharge for medical insurance, and part of the reason, right, why that is like there's a lot of malpractice lawsuits, and so like they need to make a lot of money so they can be careful if there's lawsuits and stuff because we have the right to, Americans have the right to sue whoever they want, and if they win, it can be very costly for the person who, right? And so like that's one of the things that drives it. It's always the money, man. It's and
It's so bizarre to me, but you're right. You're 100% right.
another component that my girlfriend brought up is like the United States is so large, it'd be very hard to implement one national healthcare system.
That is
Right.
true, especially since in plenty of states there is like a lot of open land between like peoples, so it's like accessibility is also another thing.
Yeah, it's hard to access hospitals or healthcare when you're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And every state, has their own different laws and ways of doing things, which fair. That's states' rights, right? I think that's a
Yeah.
fair thing. But it just makes it hard to implement one blanket system. So
Mm-hmm.
somewhere like England, right? Like it's easy to have the NHS because like England's a much smaller country.
Yeah.
Like um, but yeah, America's just like it's huge. I mean, like you could drive. Someone was saying you could drive 11 hours in Texas and still be in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it literally takes more than a day just to cross the entire state of Texas in one go without stops, nothing. It's insane.
Texas is huge. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm glad you have healthcare coverage. I think it's good coverage. I mean, it's pretty good. It's taxpayer coverage. So.
No, and that's another thing I had to figure out too. I had to figure out which urgent care places like actually take this insurance, and lo and behold, Cottage Care does, and I actually like Cottage Care. MedStop is a bit iffy in my opinion, so yeah.
Is Cottage Care nearby?
Yeah, it's in the same parking lot as the Vons, so yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Urgent cares. I like urgent cares a lot. They're a lot easier than ERs because this was like annoying. A few months back, my girl had like it wasn't too deep of a cut. She cut her hand open. It was a lot, so we just wanted to make sure she was okay. So like, but it was just at the time that all the urgent cares were closing. So we're like, oh fuck, we have to spend time in the ER, and it was like a 5-hour visit.
Yeah, so keep in mind, viewers, if you don't know what like urgent care is, think like if a
ER.
hospital is like a shopping mall, urgent care is like a mini mart, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're basically in and out. So
I was really annoyed with an urgent care one time. I went to an urgent care and was like, "Hey, I've had like 2 migraines. Can I be seen?" And they're like, "No, we'd recommend you go to like the ER." And I had like 2 migraines yesterday, I guess. A mini one at work, and then I had a bigger one after work. Both were activated by lights, and I think dehydration. I really need to be better about drinking water. I've noticed on like days when like I drink from my bottle at work like every 10 minutes if I can. When I'm in session, I don't really drink any water. I don't touch it. I don't bring it with me, so I don't have any. But yeah, maybe just like staying more hydrated during the day. I also need to like. It's also would be good to do that to balance out the caffeine I intake because I drink not a lot of caffeine, but enough. So.
well, I mean, if you want to properly monitor your water intake, you just basically look at your pee every time you go to the bathroom.
If it's clear, is that like where I'm hydrated enough?
Yeah, if it's like crystal clear or like pale yellow, like a very, very, very light beer, Then yeah, you're in the good zone. If it's like a darker yellow, like almost like IPA level or like red lager, if it's in like the red, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, I notice when I drink more water, it's paler.
Yeah.
It's that clear color.
Another
Okay.
indicator is that you have to pee more often. That's another
No,
good sign that you're very hydrated.
yeah, I've. That's the annoying thing. It's like, and like today, dude, I was like, speaking of having to pee, dude, I was like leaving a session, and I should have gone like get. I was at the client's place. So I should have just been like, hey, can I use your restroom? But no, so I dropped them off where they need to be dropped off at, and then I was driving back to the office, and I was like, I have to really fucking pee. And so I parked. I rushed to like downstairs bathroom. I finally let it go. I was like, sweet, I'm good. And then I had another situation where I was in the middle of the session. I was like halfway through. I was on a phone sesh, and like I had to pee. And I was like, oh my god. And like, I had to wait for the client to finish. I was like, okay. And I just rushed to the bathroom, and it was in between. I had to like run from that session to a psych appointment, then to another session. So it was like I was trying to keep up with stuff. So that was kind of crazy and stressing out a little bit. But anyway, so that was not pleasant. I had two little pee emergencies today, but
See, that's not good. I try to memorize where all the bathrooms are and whatever my day-to-day life is, so, you know.
I also try to go as often as I can. Like, especially like if I'm like, all right, I'm going to be somewhere for a little bit. I should go use the restroom, and I'll go off and do my thing. But it's hard to do that at work. I'm very busy and very occupied. So yeah.
Well, if you know that there's, like, say, a restaurant or, like, a shopping, like, little center or, like, a gas station near your work, that's always a good thing.
There is a gas station near my work. I don't think it has a restroom.
Well, that's fucked up. What the fuck?
Well, I don't know. But also my work has like, I know of two employee bathrooms. There's one upstairs. There's one downstairs. So I'm aware of where those are at. I don't know more. I know there's like a client one, but you can't access that without a key. So, and they have the key because some clients have wrecked it in the past, which is another story. But anyway, so,
Yeah.
I have to be more careful about that. The little office they have us located at, off in El Viso, has like one bathroom in the cubicle area,
Yeah.
which is single use for all of us, which is nice because no one's ever there. So I'm just like, yay! And then there's another one near the therapy rooms, and the meeting rooms, which is nice. So I get to use that. Yeah, I like the office they have us located at. I think it'd be better if it were if the location were a little closer to everything. Because it's all the way in the middle of like, El Viso is like in between like Milpitas and Santa Clara, and so it's like off the beaten path because like all our clients are like located in San Jose, or even I've got one in Campbell, and like that's all the way. It's like half an hour away from the El Viso office, which sucks. I'm gonna have to drive to there tomorrow, which isn't a big deal. But anyway,
I mean, it gives you a chance to listen to another album to complete your 1,000.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, no. So, another thing in my week too is I finally saw The Killer, starring Michael Fassbender.
Wait, yeah, the Netflix movie, the David Lynch one. How was it?
Not David Lynch, David Fincher.
David Fincher, the other David. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever seen anything by David Lynch, actually. I've been meaning to watch Twin Peaks, but, like, mom, or folks, our mom and dad, they have a very loathing relationship with him.
Why's that?
Because they went to see his movie, what was it? Mulholland Drive, and they hated it. They saw it in theaters, and they hated it.
Really? Mulholland Drive's considered a great flick.
I think it was because they just didn't get what was going on in the movie, and they just like walked out like just completely like annoyed. It's like those same people who go to like Deadpool expecting it's a Marvel movie when it's like, no, it's not that kind of Marvel movie.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I finally saw The Killer, and it was quite good. It was different than what I was expecting, but it was very well done.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, basically, Michael Fassbender plays like an assassin who messes up a major contract and basically kind of pays for it in his personal life. So he's like, you know what? I am going to get my exact vengeance on everyone that's affected me because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Dang.
does, and it's really well done. It's like just the patience, the waiting, the fact that he's stalking these targets like almost like a serial killer. Basically, it's very fascinating.
He's like flaunting. Well, yeah, I've seen like clips of it, which is cool. So
Yeah, and it's it does have like this element of like how he gets to the target that's like it's so devious, it's so insanely easy when you really think about it. Like he orders shit off Amazon and he has like postmates being delivered to the target's house and he gets access to the gate because of it. Like it's actually quite devious how
oh,
easy it is to do that.
so he's using different tactics to get around it. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
interesting, man.
it's just subtle and clever. It's amazing.
Uh huh. Hmm. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And then I also saw an analysis on Jake Gyllenhaal's character in Nightcrawler because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And what the analysis is that he is indeed a psychopath, not a sociopath.
I thought he was just a sociopath because like he just doesn't give a damn. He's like very calculated, very cold, and
Yeah,
I mean like he's obsessive, but it's not like I guess that would be psychopathy, wouldn't it?
yeah, because like it's very hard to like nail, like the total, diagnosis of a psychopath, but his behavior does exhibit that he is just completely off. Like there is nothing normal about him, but everything he does in his best effort to mimic human behavior.
Well, he's really good. There was. I mean, he's a really great example. I think I used him in a psych class once. He's a really good example of like antisocial personality disorder, which is like the disorder that we most often link with psychopathy or sociopathy, which is like marked by like lack of remorse, like criminal behavior, that sort of thing. And like he's very cunning and he's very manipulative. He's very easy to like trick people into thinking stuff. He's like I like that scene in the bike shop. He like steals the bike, assumingly kills or harms the person, the owner of the bike, pretty badly. But then he's like talking all about the bike and trying to sell it and like doing a really good job at like acting like a normal person.
He actually just waits till the bicyclist walks away from their bike after locking it up, and he just breaks the lock and takes it himself.
Oh, okay. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the you're thinking of the first scene in the movie where like he attacks the security guard for his watch. So
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, and also because he got caught stealing precious metals and tried to sell it to a scrapyard. So
That's right. Yeah.
yeah,
I
but
do remember that.
no, everything that he does, like he does to mimic human behavior. So that just inherently means that he was like born off, which a psychopath is like born bad like that, whereas a sociopath is made over time.
Well, a psychopath can also be created, right? Like I think like a good real life example of a psychopath or of someone who fits ASPD is like Richard Kuklinski, right?
Yeah,
He's watching his tapes was like dreadfully. It's just interesting to see how he describes all these horrible acts so calmly and like without any emotion in his tone. He's very monotone. Anyway, so he grew up with like an abusive alcoholic father, right? So like and but his father likely exhibited also ASPD symptoms as well. So like it was probably genetically inherited to him or
yeah.
by his father, right? So like there is some aspects of nature versus nurture. So yeah, like I think like maybe it was a component of like he did have this kind of disposition to it, but he was also probably like grew up in an environment where it was like curated.
Yeah, because you can go your whole life and not realize that you're actually like a psychopath until you like realize it way later in life by circumstance or whatever. Like, wasn't there a guy who did like a research study and like he like looked at like all the markers and he's like, "Oh shit, that's me though. What? What is going on?"
Oh, there was a guy who did that? Oh, wow. Jesus.
Yeah, no, like he discovered that he himself fits the criteria of a psychopath and he didn't even know it. And he was the one conducting the research into his patients.
God damn, dude.
But it was probably because he actually had like such a great upbringing and whatnot, and actually had like a relatively active life that like he just learned basic behavior, and he just didn't realize that he actually had a predisposition to be completely different in his life. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's kind of wild, but yeah. So and also in the analysis of Louis Bloom from Nightcrawler, they pay attention to a lot of like the camera shots and everything, and I didn't even notice this before, but it's so brilliant. Like there's one scene where like he first gets his paycheck from selling footage to the news crew, which starts off his like entire career for the rest of the movie. And there's a brief shot where you actually see blood on his shirt, but because the camera angle focuses more on the actual check, you don't notice that at first until they talk about it later. They're like, "Is that blood on your shirt? There's also some on your sleeve." The moment has already moved on, so you don't actually really pay attention to the blood on the shirt anymore. Along, just like with Louis Bloom, he's just like, "Oh, that's a thing."
Mm-hmm. Wow,
yeah. It's kind of bizarre. I didn't even realize that at first.
Interesting. I didn't think about that either. Yeah.
Yeah, or like how in an offhand conversation, he's like, "Did I mention that I work in a garage?" And in a later scene, he's disabling a vehicle's brakes. And how would one know that if they didn't, have previous experience in that field?
Mm-hmm.
It's just these subtle hints that he drops, and you're like, "Oh shit, he is way more dangerous than you realize."
Yeah, that dude was like ruthless. He like screwed over the other Nightcrawler guy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, I guess this is major spoilers for the movie, but if you're not out here watching Nightcrawler, like,
it's also a movie that's almost 10 years old, which is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
So like, if you're not watching it, go watch it.
Like, if Jake Gyllenhaal knocked somebody up before filming that movie, he could have like an 11-year-old kid by now. Like,
he could.
Yeah.
He could.
Yeah, because you also got to think post-production. The movie doesn't come out till like a year after it actually starts filming. So, yeah. But no, it makes me want to watch the movie all over again because it's just a fantastic film. It's really well done and just like, it has like this strange, ethereal feeling to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really. He was scary in that movie. He's like really good at playing like. Jake Gyllenhaal is really good at playing like characters who can be friendly, but then be like completely nuts. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, didn't he do the same thing in Spider-Man Far From Home where he played Mysterio? He was like friendly.
He was like all friendly.
Yeah.
And he was evil. Yeah. He's I need to watch Prisoners again. I keep seeing footage online pop up of that, like scenes from it, and like that movie is insane. It's movie's like thriller to its core, dude. That was crazy.
Dude, I gotta say, it's probably one of my favorite Hugh Jackman movies, like, ever, because he's
really just, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, unhinged in that movie, dude.
After seeing that movie, I'm like, I don't want to be in the same room with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, seriously, dude. Like, he was scary in that movie. I mean, I get it, right? I think, like, the story is really well done and really well told.
Yeah.
It's about, like, a father trying to, like, get his daughters back, which, like, commendable. But, yeah, it was just, like, nuts, dude.
But funny enough, it's not my favorite Denis Villeneuve film. Denis Villeneuve.
Love that director. He's great. But, oh, my God.
Yeah, no, he's a brilliant director. Honestly, I think my top 2 favorite movies by him is definitely... Oh, God. Actually, I have to make a top 3 because Blade Runner 2049 was phenomenal. It was out of this world. The fact that it was a movie made 30 years later after the original, and it still had the same tone and vibe of the original Blade Runner is like... And
beautifully. I mean, every single shot was like a picture painted.
Oh, it was insane. And... Dave Bautista's performance in the movie. He was in the movie for like 10 minutes, but it was the most incredible 10 minutes of my life.
Yeah, the movie was fantastic.
And then definitely the other 2 on my list of top favorite Denis Villeneuve films. I haven't seen Arrival yet, so I can't judge that one.
Arrival is crazy storytelling, dude. It was just, I mean, and what is her name? Amy Adams?
Amy Adams, yeah.
I get Amy Adams and Rachel McAdams mixed up, and I hate that I do that. But, like...
One's a redhead and one's a brunette.
Their names are just similar, that's why. It's not that they're, like, similarly looking. They're both very talented within their own rights, obviously. But Arrival is fantastic. It's a great, well-done sci-fi piece, and it has a lot to say about language and how we use it, and... Anyway... Definitely check it out when you get a chance. Fantastic movie.
Definitely, because once I do, I'll definitely have to change the sorting list. But so far, definitely my top favorite Denis Villeneuve films is Blade Runner 2049 at the top. And then Sicario, somewhere along the lines. I want to say that's probably
Sicario.
third.
That's a Denis Villeneuve? Joint.
That's a Denis Villeneuve joint. Yeah,
I had to
Sicario.
watch that. I want to watch. That's got Benicio del Toro, right?
Yeah, and Emily Blunt, Daniel Kaluuya. I hope I said
Yeah,
his name right.
Kaluuya.
Yeah, he's in the movie. Yeah.
Sweet.
Who else has it got? It's got Josh Brolin and who? John Bernthal. He's in the movie for like 10 minutes, and it's phenomenal.
Sweet. Okay, yeah, I gotta check out Sicario. Okay, bet.
And the visual style is done excellent. Like, or done really, really well. Like, it has these wide open like camera shots until you actually get to like their destination, Mexico, because it feels like tight knit and like claustrophobic because that's how the character's supposed to feel.
I see. Yeah.
And on top of that, the light and dark segments they have in the film too. They have like certain lighting that sheds like bright lights on certain characters, darker lighting on other characters, and it's supposed to symbolize the whole like innocence, truth, and justice on one side, and the one who's more like jaded and like knows that there's problems in the world, but is totally fine with getting their hands dirty to get the job done.
Mm-hmm. Tight.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's a great crime film. If you like Breaking Bad, you will love that shit.
Sweet.
And last but not least, probably my second favorite Denis Villeneuve film, because it's not for everyone, but it is really well done. 2013's Enemy, starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Enemy.
That one, he plays two different characters. Basically, this guy who's a college professor at some university discovers one day that there's an actor, relatively like B-list, C-list actor, who looks exactly like him, like down to a T. Looks exactly.
Oh,
like
that's
him.
that's the movie. I've seen memes about it, but I have not seen the actual movie. Okay, so it's like Jake Gyllenhaal playing two different characters.
Exactly, and it's freaking them out, and yeah.
Excuse me.
But yeah. Oh, also another thing about Enemy is that if you do watch Enemy, if you are scared of spiders, be warned, because there's a lot of spider imagery in the movie.
Oh, okay, bet. Isn't there like a giant spider somewhere in the movie?
Yeah, this is not really spoilers because I guarantee you people have seen this shit online out of context, but basically at the end of the movie, like, Jake Gyllenhaal walks into a room and there's a giant spider, like, cowering in the corner, but it's such a massive jump out of nowhere that it constitutes as, like, the best jump scare of all time.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Because you don't expect it. You really don't. You think, oh, the movie's ending, everything's calm, it's not weird. Suddenly, weird last thing at the end, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I can give you a breakdown later on like what all that means when you do actually eventually watch the movie, because it's a bit of a trip. Yeah.
If I watch Enemy, you gotta watch Arrival, and we'll talk about both at a certain time.
Yes, we will. And I think with that, that's a good time to cut off.
I think that's a good place to end it. This has been the 9 to 5 boys. Thank you for joining us for this shift. We're going to clock out. You all have a great morning, afternoon, day, evening, whatever you're doing, whenever you're listening, whenever you're watching, wherever you are.
Exactly. If you're on the toilet watching this, please wipe, okay? You nasty.
Yeah, please wipe.
9 to 5 boys clocking out. Plachink!